If I could sit down with a brand new homeschool mom, or even if I could go back and just talk to myself when I was getting started, these are the conversations I'd have. Because when you step into homeschooling, you don't just step into teaching your kids. You step into a whole world of opinions, books, blogs, YouTube videos, Facebook groups, curriculum companies, all of these things telling you what your homeschool should look like. And if you're not careful, you can spend more time trying to figure out what everyone else is doing than actually figuring out what works for your own family. I know this because I did it. I over researched, I second guessed, I felt like I needed to have everything mapped out before we could even start. And looking back, most of that pressure was totally unnecessary. What I've learned after a few years of homeschooling is that peace doesn't come from having a perfect plan. It comes from understanding your family, setting a simple foundation, and letting things grow from there. So in this video, I'm going to share some things with you that I would tell a new homeschool mom. And like I said, even my younger self, the pieces that actually made a difference once the dust settled. One of the very first things I tell a new homeschool mom is this: take all of the advice with a grain of salt. And yes, I realize I'm giving advice while saying that. That's just how this works. There are a lot of voices in the homeschool world, a lot of really strong opinions, a lot of this is the right way. And the truth is, there isn't one correct way to homeschool. There just isn't. Sometimes sitting at a desk or a table with a workbook works really, really great. Sometimes your kid learns better sprawled out on the couch. Sometimes a whiteboard hanging in the dining room is the magic solution, and sometimes nothing works that day and you just call it a life skills afternoon. Sometimes your 4-year-old is desperate to do school because big brother or big sister is. And guess what? It's okay to hand her a piece of paper and let her feel included. You actually can teach your child before their 6th birthday. And here's the big one people don't talk about. Just because you homeschool doesn't automatically mean your kid will be a book loving, chapter devouring reader from day one. Reading is a skill, it's a habit, it's something that grows over time. And even then, not all kids are made that way. When you understand that there is no single mold you're supposed to fit into, it gets a whole lot easier to breathe. You can learn from others without feeling like you need to copy them. You can experiment, adjust, keep what works, and drop what doesn't. And that mindset makes everything else we're about to talk about feel a lot more doable. Once you let go of the idea that there's one right way to homeschool, the next thing I would tell a new homeschool mom is this: before you dive first into curriculum, take some time to build your home rhythms, because homeschooling isn't just the school part. It's also the meals and the laundry and the tidying and the siblings and the phone calls and the doorbells and all of the life happening in the same space that you're also trying to now learn it. So before you stress about whether you're choosing the right math program, I encourage you to really think about simple things like, what does our morning look like? When do we eat? When do we tidy? When does everybody get to take a break? If your kids are coming home from a brick and mortar school, I think this step is even more important. You're not just changing how they learn, you're also changing how your whole household functions. It takes time to learn how to be home together all day and still move the day forward. Start small, maybe a simple morning rhythm, a tidy time, a little lunchtime routine. Nothing fancy, just kind of some solid anchors in the day. Once your home has that bit of a natural flow, adding curriculum on top will feel a lot easier. Without that foundation, even the best curriculum in the world is going to leave you feeling chaotic. Here's where I see a lot of new homeschooling moms get stuck. They feel like they need to design the whole homeschool before day one ever happens. I did the same thing. I treated homeschooling like a project that needed the perfect blueprint. And all that really did was keep me in planning mode instead of actually doing the thing. The reality is, you don't discover your homeschool rhythm on a piece of paper. You discover it in real life by trying things, watching how your kids respond, adjusting, keeping things that work, and dropping the things that don't. That's why I think starting small matters so much, especially with curriculum. It's easy to get excited and stack your schedule with every subject and shiny resource, but it's always easier to add later than it is to untangle overwhelm once you're in it. So think simple core subjects, just those few key pieces, maybe math, reading, science, history, enough to just move the day forward without feeling like you are sprinting from the start. As your family settles into a flow, you'll naturally see where there's room to go. That's the time to add more, not before. And if curriculum feels like the biggest question mark, I actually have a full video on picking curriculum without overwhelm. And every year we do curriculum month inside Made to Homeschool and walk through that together. I will link both of those down in the description for you. Simple first, build from there. Once you've got a simple rhythm going and a light curriculum plan in place, the next piece is learning how to hold your days with both flexibility and also boundaries. Homeschooling does give you a lot of freedom. That's one of the biggest gifts. But freedom without structure can start to feel very scattered pretty quickly. On the other hand, trying to run your homeschool like a rigid school schedule usually leads to frustration for you and for your kids. The sweet spot is just a gentle structure, a general flow to the day, clear expectations, but enough flexibility to kind of roll with life as it shows up. Maybe that means you do school in the mornings, but you don't stress about the exact start times. Maybe certain things need to happen each day, but the order can change. Maybe some days run beautifully and some days you pivot, and both of those are okay. Boundaries give your day direction, flexibility gives your home peace. You really do need both. And learning that balance takes time. It's something you grow into, not something you master on day one. Somewhere in all of this, the planning, the teaching, the laundry, the meals, it's easy to forget that you are a person too. Not just a homeschool mom, but a woman with energy levels, needs, interests, and limits. And the reality is the health of your homeschool is closely tied to the health of the one running it. When you are running on empty, everything feels harder. Patience runs thinner, small problems feel big, and days feel heavier than they need to. I always encourage new moms to pay attention to what feels stretched. Maybe it's rest, maybe it's movement, maybe it's alone time. Maybe it's having a simple plan of meals so you're not scrambling all day. You don't need a total life overhaul, just one small step in the direction of support, one gentle habit, and then build from there. If you're sitting over there thinking, I don't even know where to start with that, I do have an entire workshop on healthy habits inside of Made to Homeschool that is designed exactly for that. Simple ideas, realistic steps, and encouragement for this season. It really is a great starting point if you need one. There is no finish line here, just steady growth that makes your homeschool feel more sustainable. And that's not selfish, it's stewardship, and it does bless your entire family. If I could leave you with anything, it's this. You don't have to figure out homeschooling all at once. You're going to learn your family's rhythm by living it. You're going to discover what works by trying things. You are going to grow into this role over time. There's no gold star for having the perfect setup in year one. There's just faithfulness in showing up, paying attention, and adjusting as you go. You're building something day by day that fits your family, not someone else's version of homeschool. So start simple, stay open, keep your boundaries gentle and your expectations realistic, and remember that God is present in the ordinary days just as much as the exciting ones. That's it for today's video. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will talk to you soon.